Let's continue with some more animation effects. So take a look at this slide here. Now I know I've told you that it's bad to put a lot of text on a slide. People have a tendency not to want to read long sentences on the slide, but I guess sometimes it's just unavoidable. There are those occasions where all those words are important. In that case, what you might want to do is bring things in one at a time. So let's first start with animating these. Okay, so this text box here, I just created them from text boxes. You should be familiar with that by now. So let's animate these. Let's make this, again, I like using the fly just because it's very obvious, especially for demonstration purposes, so you guys can see that an animation actually happening. So I'm going to have it fly in from the right there. Also this one, I'm going to again use the fly in from the right. Okay. So what this does is it kind of breaks up your slide a little bit. It lets people concentrate on certain things. So first they look at that, okay, then they look at that, okay, and then they look at this one. Okay. I'm going to change this a little bit though. For example, when I do arrive at this point, you can see that there is quite a bit of clutter, right? And if I'm talking about the second part, this first part may not be necessary, right? It's just kind of distracting, so why not just take it out? Okay, so this is what we call an exit effect. Right now, all we've been dealing with is entrance effects. Okay, so all these ones in green, those are entrance effects. Okay, so corresponding here, green. Okay, if you want something to exit, right, you can just add an animation. You can see entrance is in green. Next they have emphasis, but if you scroll down, here is where we have our exit effects. Okay, so you can just have it disappear. Okay, or if you don't want disappear, you can have things like fly out. You can see here it changes the color, right? Fly out. Right. So something like that. Okay. And let's do it to this one as well. Why not? Let's add an effect here. So let's have that. I wonder what this looks like. Bounce out. Okay. Right. That looks kind of funny because it's not consistent, but let's just go with it for now. Okay. So let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay. So first on first click, we get those two headings up there. Then we get this flying in, and then this one comes out in the next. So that's not exactly what I want. I want the first one to come in, go away, then have the second one come in and go away. Okay, so let's change that. How do we change that? You should be familiar. Yes, you guessed it. I can just take them here and just rearrange the order. Okay, so here's my exit effect for that text box 4, I guess you're calling it, right? Text box 4, let's take that and move that up here. Okay, so what should happen is enter text box 4, exit text box 4, and then enter the next text box, and then exit. Let's see if it works. Okay, so clicking is to come up, enter, exit, enter, and exit. Okay, so this is often useful if you have really big text boxes too. So let's just increase the sizes of these. Let's make it nice and big. Let's increase the font size. Let's make it big like so. Okay, and this is going to look really confusing at first, right? Because they're going to be stacked on top of each other. Right? But when you actually see it, right now it looks like a complete mess, but watch how cool it looks when we actually get it going. Okay, so first we get our headings up there. First one comes in, go away. Second one comes in, and it can go out as well. So you can see that you can stack things on top of each other, and it will look nicely when you present them. But this presents another difficulty that I'd like to deal with at the moment. So sometimes you have lots of things stacked on top of each other, and you're like trying to edit one, and it's kind of hard to, which one am I currently clicking, right? Which one am I editing? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Okay, if that's the case, and you need to choose things individually, Okay, go back to your Home tab here, and all the way over here, you have this select. Click on the little arrow here, and you can open up what's called your selection pane. Okay, when you click on your selection pane, now my PowerPoint seems to be having a little bit of a glitch, but I'm gonna just continue on anyways. What should show when you open up this selection pane is a list of all your different objects here, and I should be able to choose them, but for some reason I'm not on this one. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you. I did double check, it is working on this slide here. You can see that when I do click on these different objects, they do select them. Okay, so like I said before, if you do happen to have certain things that are overlapping and you want to choose one, you can just click on from here. Other things you can do is you can temporarily hide things. So for example, I can temporarily hide this one, make it invisible. That way it makes it very easy to select and work on this thing. After I finish modifying this, then I can just turn that one back on and have it on there. So not sure what happened with mine, but hopefully that doesn't happen with you, and you can select what you want and move what it is you want. That way you can deal with individual text boxes themselves, especially when they're overlapping like this and you don't know which one you're actually clicking on.